Hello viewers, it's been a minute. I know it's been a while since I published a public video. I've been posting some personal family vacation videos in private channels, but I haven't done a public video in a while, and I've been feeling that itch. And if you are a long-term viewer, you know that I have a thing for championship belts. That little penchant, that hobby, I don't know what it is. The one belt that I had, I bought a couple of belts. I bought some belts. And I'm gonna talk about these belts, and I'm gonna do it over the course of 4 videos. I wanted to share my experiences buying belts, both official and unofficial on the internet, and give you some feedback on the quality and some things to look out for potentially and some pitfalls. So the first video in this series is the NWA United States Tag Team Championship. And I bought 2 of them. And I bought 2 of these belts on Amazon through a bootleg, and they were $85 each. Technically, they were $95, and we're going to talk about that. I have no affinity for this championship. The legacy, the history, the design of this belt. I bought this belt because it was cheap on the internet, and I wanted a tag team championship belt, 2 of them, to share with my son, so we can take pictures as tag team champions. So it's not like this particular design has this great emotional history with me. It was just, this is cheap. This is under $100 per belt, and I'm going to get them relatively soon. And, you know, red, why not? Why not red? This particular belt was purchased on Amazon, as I'd mentioned. Now, this particular reseller is most definitely creating these belts in Pakistan. This is a bootleg, this is a ripoff, or this is a knockoff, and they are operating out of Flushing, New York. So my return, because I had to return one of these belts, and I'll get into that in a second, I had to go back to Flushing, New York. So they're clearly sending these belts from Pakistan. There's a distribution function in Flushing, and you can send and receive from there. Now, let's start with the return. I received a belt that was heavily tarnished on the corners. It was so bad that I'm like, no, let me do this return. And I was able to send it out, no problem, do a return via Amazon, no problem, and they sent me a new belt out within days. I had it within 5 days of me doing the return, the new belt came. So from that aspect, this reseller is very responsible and attentive, and there were no issues. However, if you look on Amazon, and if you find this belt on Amazon, and it's not too hard to find, one of the things that you will see in the comments is there are 2 options for this belt. One is a 2mm brass, and the other is a 4mm zinc. The difference in price was like $84 for the 2mm brass and $95 for the 4mm zinc. I went for the $95 4mm zinc. Why not? Who wouldn't want a thicker plate? And for whatever reason, I don't know the reasons why, everybody says that the zinc metals are the better metals for the belts. I don't know why, I don't get into it, but I know the thicker is generally better. When I received the belts, and you will see this in the comments too, I paid the $10 extra, which would have been a bargain and a half to get a 4mm plate at $94. The 2mm is what arrived. So the belts, the plates are thin. The leather, and it's black in the back, the leather is thin. The leather, if it is leather, and I think that it is not great. It feels really cheap, and it feels like there's probably cardboard sandwiched in between the belt, the 2 tops of leather, the back and the front. It feels like there's probably something in here to kind of get it stiff. Now, I will say that it kind of, it goes over the shoulder kind of nice. That's nice. It bends kind of nice, right? You can do this with the belt, and that's something for sure. I think people who are belt collectors say that that is a very positive sign. You can see that it's tarnished on the edge, and this was probably the other one that I sent. You'll see that I'll hide my face. The paint on the side plates not great. This, I don't know what they call these things, the belt cap, right? It doesn't go all the way around. It's just a superficial piece on the top. There's no, like, it doesn't wrap around the back of the belt. For an $84 belt, and again, if you choose to buy this belt on Amazon, buy the $84 version. The 4mm, they don't send you a 4mm. So they basically charged me an extra $10 for the same belt. If you buy the $84 belt, right, I don't think you can get much. Like, this is pretty good for, like, if you have a costume, or if you want to just mess around, you're like, oh, I want a championship belt, and it's $84. Like, you really, for that, you really can't go wrong. There's nothing wrong with this belt. It's fine for $84. If you are a collector, if this belt has some kind of childhood historical significance to you, there are better, thicker versions on eBay of this belt. Now, again, because the NWA, or I know Billy Corgan owns like the current iteration of the NWA, but I don't think that these designs are owned by anybody anymore. So when I use the term bootleg for the NWA belts, I'm not exactly sure how that works, because those entities and those territories are defunct. And there's a part of me that says this is kind of nice that people still remember these designs and they're trading them and they're remembering them. Again, I don't think that there's anything spectacular about this particular design. Again, if you want to look at this, I can't see the camera anymore, but this is supposed to be a picture of the United States in the background, and you can see that the thickness of the belt and the way that the belt is engraved, it's very, very hard to tell that in the background under the USA. But it's supposed to be the continental United States. But for $84 to have a championship belt, it's not bad. And to basically, for, again, don't buy the $95 one because you're not going to get the 4mm zinc plate. So for $85, and again, if you want to do two, right, and that's why I bought the cheap ones, because I wanted two belts. So you're talking about $170 for two belts. I mean, that's pretty good, and it's fun. Me and my son took pictures of them, and we were walking around the house with the championship belts, and that's cool, right? Because that's why you buy these things, right? You're like, cool, I'm a champion. I can walk around with a championship belt, and I can do all the cool things that championship belt people do. Amazon makes it easy to buy this thing. It gets here pretty quick. The description is wrong. When I returned it, I said, hey, you didn't send me the 4mm belt. I did not expect to get a 4mm belt back, but I was hoping, right? I returned it because it was tarnished, but I was hoping that maybe I would get the thicker plate. I did not get the thicker plate upon the return. So, okay, again, for $85 to $95, 2mm plate, this is not bad. The leather is not great, but it's fun. This is a costume belt. This is a costume belt that you would wear at a party with your friends and probably throw it in a drawer or in a closet somewhere and probably never think about it. It does not come with a bag. It doesn't come with a holder or anything. I can't rag on this thing because it was cheap. I don't know. I wish that the 4mm option was available. I would have gotten the thicker plates if it was made available to me, even if it was more expensive than the $95. I knew that investment would have been worth it, because now this feels kind of disposable and I'm not sure what I want to do with these. Other than the fact that I took some cool pictures with my son, and he might want to take some pictures when his buddies come over, and that's fine. This is just fine. This is for like a costume. This is kind of somewhat disposable. And I have to also say that the metal doesn't feel like it's going to just bend if you like put it against your body or anything. It's fine. This thing is fine, and like it's kind of for $85, $95, it's what it is, and like I don't feel inherently ripped off. I wish that they sent me the better plates, but I don't feel ripped off by, if I paid $84 by this, I'm like, you get what you pay for. A lot of people who do belt reviews, they don't show like the belt on their waist, so I guess I'll show that, right? So here's the belt on the waist. It fits. I'm a 38, 36, actually I'm like a 36 right now, but this belt feels like it has plenty of space. Like you could probably get away with up to a 42 for the waist on this. And so So that's also a thing, and I would say that this belt and another belt that I'm going to show later, it's a lot more forgiving from a size perspective. So you can put it on your waist if you're, you know, probably not bigger than a 42, and that's cool, right? Who doesn't want to put the championship around their waist? Yeah. It's cute to have, again, you know, you and your girlfriend, you and your wife, you and your boyfriend, you and your children. Who doesn't want to be tag team with people that you care about in your life? And that's really why I bought this belt. To have two belts to say that we're a tag team family. Team Lombardi. I don't know, it's probably good. Team Lombardi, baby. That's why I have this belt. Championship belts, baby. Woo!